everybody. Welcome to another podcast at A&P Spot Talk, where you are on the spot. Sponsored by A&P Staffing Network, Advanced Medical Professionals on Demand. Today we have a very, very special guest, especially to me, is my son, my eldest son.
Hey, welcome.
Andrew Natividad, also known as AJtheRN. And why is that, Andrew? Why AJtheRN?
Well, I chose AJtheRN because one, I felt it just fit my name, which everyone calls me. So AJ, I go by Andrew Jason Natividad. AJ, 2 letters, RN, AJtheRN. It just felt like it felt rhythmic when you say it, and when you put it in a social media page, it just sounds like something that everyone would remember. So AJtheRN was the number one choice to go to.
Right, I like that. It has a little ring on Joe.
Exactly.
AJtheRN,
Yeah,
like AJ,
yeah.
AJ.
Kind of rolls off the tongue really easily.
It does.
Andrew Jason.
Yeah.
Andrew Jason. So today, listeners, we're going to talk about real quick how to obtain your RN, why go into nursing school, why go into nursing period, why is nursing such a hot occupation right now?
It is very hot.
Why? I mean, what do you guys think about? I mean, why? It's nursing.
Well, what comes to mind for me is with nursing, there's so many routes that you can go to, right? It's not just floor nursing. You don't have to go that route. There's so many things you can do. You can be a teacher. You can be a more advanced medical professional, a nurse practitioner. You can go into public health nursing. You can do certain things like this, be an RN in social media, and actually even teach through social media. I've seen a lot of social media influencers that literally don't. Some of them don't even go to school. They just get their RN, which is what you need to be credible. Yep. And then they teach through YouTube, through Instagram, and they get their credibility with that. And I think that's so amazing because you don't necessarily have to go through all that schooling. I think some schooling is necessary because you need to know the basics of what nursing actually is. But there's so many routes that you can go to. And I think nursing is such a great field. And it's one of the reasons why I chose it. So I think...
How about starting a business?
That too. See, you can start a business with nursing too. See,
in nursing staffing.
Yeah.
I mean, Dad wasn't like, AJ, you need to be a nurse.
No, yeah. You know, my dad pushed nursing in the beginning. You know, long story short, he said, just go nursing, just go nursing, right? But I didn't want to listen because I want to do something else. Because I'm like, I don't want to be the typical Filipino nurse.
Yeah,
I want to go do something else, right?
Course.
So, I went to go try different things. I tried to do dentistry. I tried to do something in accounting or whatever. I did trying to do like physical therapy. In a sense, when I was going through my careers, I was like, Baskin Robbins, 21 flavors. I was like, let me see which flavor I like, right? But then I went back to the number one, which I felt it was probably most meant for me. And as I was going through nursing school, nursing was definitely the career that really resonated with my soul, right? So, because every time I knew something about nursing, I felt like, wow, my dad was right. My dad was correct. So here I am now.
Listen to the parents, but not only myself, my mother, or Andrew's grandmother, Maria Natividad, had a heavily influence on becoming a nurse. Okay. And why is that? Because that was the basis of income, right, to explode her rental business or real estate business. So, Mom, you're listening. We love you. We love you. We love you. We are here because of her, because she had the vision. Like, don't stop at nursing. Don't stop. Nursing is a good basis, but you could do other things with that nursing income.
Right.
Real estate, start a business, go into home health, whatever it may be. So that's why, after I got my MBA, started A&P Staffing Network, formerly known as Golden Care Medical Registry. But it was hard at first. And then that nursing for me launched, my career, which is a business owner of owning a nursing staffing agency. And this is why I want to tell you listeners to listen to this, because Andrew was probably like a lot of you guys out there, confused, didn't know what to do, didn't want to be the typical Filipino nurse, like what Joy Coy said. What did Joy Coy say?
I forgot.
Joy Coy said like, the nurse, what do you want? Do you want a handsome man, or do you want a good job, or do you want to look good and have no job, or you want to have both, right?
Yep.
So nursing again, like what AJ the RN said, it really nursing is like a rabbit hole. Wouldn't you say? Because you could do so many things.
Yeah, exactly. So pretty much when you go into nursing, you don't really realize it until you're really done with school, which I, realized when I was done with school is that as I got over the hump of nursing school, I saw that a lot of doors opened, right? And talking about earlier what I said about, you could go into teaching, go into business, especially what, my dad's doing. It's almost endless what you can do with nursing. You can do a lot of things with nursing. And as I'm working now on the floor, and I'll talk about that a little bit later, I'm just like, man, I can't do fucking floor nursing for so long. Like I got to do something else. I feel like I'm meant for a little bit more than just this. But, everyone has to pay their dues.
Right.
You got to be on the floor. You got to get your experience, which I am learning a hell of a lot in my first month. So.
Wow. And you actually come in tough times too, right?
Yeah. During, this whole COVID pandemic, although I didn't start then, there was a lot of my peers, new grads who started during COVID, and I felt like they came out as almost veterans already because they went through so much.
Right.
But the only thing about that is that the nurses during the COVID pandemic, when I feel as new grads, they had more of a set mindset. Their patient population was just COVID. So now when you're going back to what's going on now and everything's maybe a little calmed down a little bit, now they're kind of relearning or learning how to take care of other patients with other problems. You know what I mean?
Like
it's just not
like cancer.
It's just not COVID anymore, right? Because it was such a big focus. So now you have, more of your heart problems. Yeah, like my dad said, cancer, oncology patients, renal patients, etc. Like there's so many things.
Orthopedics,
everything. Yeah. So that's how it went.
And with that, and what school did you go to again?
I went to West Coast University in Ontario. There's a bunch of campuses, but I went to West Coast University in Ontario.
So how do you know? I mean, if I'm an RN, how do you know like what school to go to? There's so many. There's ADN programs, there's BSN programs, there's many programs. Like, how do you know what to choose from?
Well, it really depends on, I feel like, just your research. So what I was doing when I felt like going into nursing school, I did my normal research. I Googled nursing programs, ADN programs, BSN programs. And at the same time, I was trying to figure out what is the most financially acceptable for my program. During the time, there was a lot of programs that I was applying to, but it was just not cutting it. There's a lot of schools denying me, or it was just too much money, or the process took too long. And I was in a little bit of a rush. I was like, I want to get this done as soon as possible. I felt like I was nearing the age of where I felt like I should have done something already, something finished.
Yes.
So like, what can I do as fast as possibly can? And I felt like a lot of people, people who are viewing this right now may feel the same way, where you just want to get something as fast as possible in the shortest amount of time. Right. So West Coast University offered a program that was only 2 years or 3, depending on, your general education background, what kind of experience you have already in the field. And that was the shortest route that they offered. So it took me 2.5 years to finish. And I felt like it was a great experience. However, there are some stuff with West Coast University I feel like they could have done better. Like, for example, the administration. There's just a lot of problems I felt with that school. They had with that. But the curriculum and their education and the professors and the clinical instructors, awesome. They are great. And I felt like I learned a lot from them. So, but going back to choosing the programs, West Coast University just had that 2-year plan that I wanted. And I saw a vision after that 2 years, and that's where it led me here today.
So you went to Cal State Fullerton, didn't you?
I did. I went to Cal State Fullerton. However, I went to Cal State Fullerton, and I just had fun there. I just partied. I didn't really have
we all know that. We all been there, right?
I just wanted to party. I didn't have a focus. I didn't have any educational goals.
All right.
But I knew I wanted to do something in healthcare, do something to help people, because I felt like that's what I enjoyed. But at that time, I just had no direction. And, looking back, that was okay, right? Because I'm here now. I had a direction, and I finished the nursing program. But I went to Cal State Fullerton for about 1.5 years, maybe almost 2. And then I went to Fullerton College just to see where I can go on from there because the tuition was cheaper and I could actually focus and kind of figure out what I wanted to do.
Right.
And then, all of a sudden I had an epiphany one day and I accepted what I want to do. And I'm like, I called my dad. I was like, Dad, I want to go into nursing.
Yes. I was like, yes, thank you, God.
What about
He's
Lola?
like, are you sure? What happened?
What about Lola? I bet she was happy.
Oh yeah,
Ecstatic.
she was happy.
She was ecstatic.
She was like, finally, thank God, finally, and everyone was happy. Like, because nursing was such a, like my dad said earlier, was such a big focus and influence because that's where my grandma, made her success with nursing, and then with nursing, she fueled her other incomes like her realtor business, like with owning property with houses, and then help my dad with the business, and because see, nursing is not just an end all be all, right? So you it's a great career, but you can use that to fuel other things, and that's what I saw as I finished. I'm like, I'm gonna use my finances and my success here in nursing, so then I could be an influencer,
right?
So I could buy things that I need to improve and grow and keep on going from there,
right? And I want to mention too, I mean, it takes two, right, to make a child. So Marianne Uy, or Marianne Silverio, is Andrew's mom, and she's also an RN, and she also had influence on Andrew as well.
Yes.
So I just want to call that out because, I don't
give her a shout out.
of course, I give out.
Say thanks to mom.
and thank you, Mom. I appreciate you too.
Yeah. We respect the
so
people, everybody in, AJ, the RN's life, so special shout out to her. After West Coast, how did you know what vision in terms of like how to apply to a hospital, where to go? Like, how do you know, like, I want to work at this hospital versus that hospital? What did you do?
Well, during school, I was actually already working for a hospital. So I was working for PIH Hospital in Whittier. Shout out to them. They've been really good for me.
Right.
There's other campuses. There's PIH in LA and PIH in Downey. Right. So that's had a big influence for me to choose which hospital. But out of school, as a new grad, they weren't accepting positions. So what I did was I did my research and I wanted to see which other hospitals to go to. And all I wanted was a new grad program that would teach me good ways, good habits of how to be a nurse, and having me be passionate to stay at the hospital, not just, get experience and then just leave. So I applied to St. Jude Hospital in Fullerton. I did City of Hope in Duarte. I did Montclair Medical Center and Montclair, Chino Valley Medical Center. And I saw that their programs were great, but in all honesty, I wanted to stay at PH because they were my family already.
Because you worked there prior.
I worked there prior.
So you were working during school.
So yes, I was working during school. Yeah.
I
was a surgical assistant in the PACU. And I also transported patients. So, and in that sense, I already knew a lot of people in the hospital because I would go to every single unit. Right.
Sounds very familiar.
Right.
To network.
Yep.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Yep.
So I was practically, when my dad's saying, I was networking already. I was saying, I would talk to the nurses there on the different floors, like, hey, I'm almost done with school. Can you talk to your manager real quick? Like, hey, tell him that I'm about to finish and I've been here for 3 years. Let him know because I'm about to be a new grad. Right. And I had a lot of my friends doing that for me. And it's crazy how that worked out because now that I'm there, I mean, with the people that I knew, I got the job at PIH. So it's who you know, right?
Yeah, it's who you know. But see, the key thing that AJ the RN did, he planted the seed even before he graduated. He volunteered his time in the surgery unit, got a job, a paying job, part-time per diem. He knew that school was the focus. But at the same time, he said, hey, man, I need to learn units. I need to learn doctors, nurses, RTs, pharmacists, because I need to put a good name for ourselves. And I think that's a good strategy for our listeners is like, hey, you know what? If you could do it, go to school and volunteer your time.
Right.
To hospitals or to wherever you think that you feel comfortable with that
Exactly.
doesn't take away from your study time because we all know that nursing program is very intensive every day, a lot of units, a lot of classes, a lot of clinicals, and a lot of nursing care plans, right?
I'm not gonna lie, it was hard. Working and going to school, it was hard. And I know a lot of people out there who are going to nursing school. They are doing that. They're working, go to school, and I felt with some of my peers, they also had kids, and they were working, and they were going to school, and they were still getting straight A's. So I felt I had no excuse not to pass this program because they were getting their good grades too, with taking care of kids. I don't have no kids, right? So it's definitely doable. You can do it. You can work, you can go to school, you can network, you could do all of that, and you could still pass and become an RN. So it is possible. You just have to put your time in. That's it.
See, you guys, you young parents like myself, I was a young parent at 19, going to 20 years old. I had my son Andrew here, AJtheRN. Now I'm doing a podcast with him. Crazy. Anything is possible. Ladies and gentlemen out there listening to the A&P Spot Talk, anything is possible. But we can't forget another person. And that is who? You guys know what I'm talking about?
God.
Exactly. Can't
I was gonna say
forget.
Sorry, God. I was forget. Gonna jump in. I wanted AJ to say that one.
You can't forget the man above, and either the man above or whoever that you believe in, Buddha, Allah, or whoever. Spiritual health is very important when you go into a type of field like nursing,
agree.
right?
Absolutely.
What do you say about that, AJtheRN?
I 100% agree, because when I was through my nursing program, getting closer with God and praying every single day or every week or when I possibly can really helped me. I feel like having a spiritual aspect in your life really helped with my success. But I'm not saying I'm pious, where I'm like, I go to church every single Sunday. I don't do that. I'll be honest, right? But I felt I had a good relationship with God with my life during school, and even now, just praying and asking for help. And I feel like all you got to do is ask.
That's right. Ask and ask.
Just
ask questions.
Right. And it helped me with just being organized. So with me, I had, I did a lot of things in order for me to be successful. And the mindset was super important during school and even now. And I'm sure my dad knows the mindset with business and everything. So for me, I had 3 things that I wanted to complete every week or every day at least. So I wanted to be physically, mentally, and spiritually sound. Physically, workout, exercise, because I know how that works, right? Mentally, that's where my studying came in. I wanted to get that in 3 to 4 hours a day, 3 to 4 hours a day. And then my praying, at least 5 to 10 minutes. I would pray, I would ask for help, I'd pray for my family and friends, and then I'd do my, Our Father, Hail Mary, my prayers, at least like maybe 5 of those and all that, etc. And I would keep that as a schedule, and it helped me. So having a direction like that and having that organization pushed me through the week. It just gave me that boost. Like, okay, I got this done. I'm a little OCD like that. Like, as long as these get things done, then I can push forward.
Sounds like a lot of discipline too.
It's a lot of discipline. And that's one word that I would agree with really describing that is just the discipline and the good habits. So just keep on doing that. And then I feel like you just fly.
It's very, very powerful, the religion aspect of nursing, if you do believe in it. I mean, some people out there, you don't believe in anything, which is okay. But I'm saying, if you do believe in something, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and worship and take time to thank God for all the blessings and to help you move forward.
Right.
Right. So moving forward now, your first day as an RN, how was it? I mean, what did you experience?
Oh my God, my mind wanted to explode. Like I was just so, I came in with confidence of what I was doing, but that first morning at 7 a.m. and I was with my trainer, my preceptor, getting a report from the other nurses, I had no idea what was going on. I'm like, okay, I think I'm going to try to treat this like I was at clinical during school. I'm going to, write things down. But, I didn't really know any better. So when I was, getting report and going throughout my day, I was just trying to write everything down. I was just like, oh my gosh, I need to know everything about my patient. I got to do all this, all that. And I was just like, this is so much to learn and just review the nursing practice. And I can't, and, as a nurse, when you have a nurse at the clinical or like, for example, when I was working at PIH, I can't just say, hold on, let me go get your nurse.
Yeah.
I'm the nurse now. I'm the primary nurse now.
Right.
So that's not an excuse anymore. So I was just like, oh my gosh, what's going on? But the first day was just nuts. There was just so much going on. And day shift is crazy because this is the thing. So I have a thing called a vocera, right, on my collar. And it's where how nurses communicate, how doctors communicate and everything, right? So during the day, there's so much stuff going on. I got doctors calling me to round up the patients.
Right.
I got PT/OT asking me if they can work with the patients. I got RTs coming saying, hey, your patient's on a ventilator or BiPAP, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm working with them today. I'm going to keep you updated, right? And then I got case management calling me. Is this patient going home? Are they getting discharged? Do they have home health PT? Do they have social work going on? So much stuff to consider. And at the same time, I have, my first day was just 2 patients, but now it's just, with that, I have 4 patients taken care of, and I got 4 patients to update with every single time. And then now I got to talk to the charge nurse, giving them updates too. And with that being said, you know, compared to the first day until now, it's just a lot of repetition. I'm very hard on myself, and as you can tell from earlier with my discipline, I'm very hard on myself, and I felt disappointed, and I questioned myself, like, I don't, you know, is nursing really meant for me? Like, this was, you know, really hard. But as time went on, I was just like, okay, I understand what's going on this floor now. Every floor is different, right? Every floor is, they have their respective disciplines. So I'm like, okay, like, damn, okay, I could do this. You know, I could do this. If I could get through nursing school, I can do this job. And it's you know, it's a love-hate thing with nursing.
Yes.
You love it and you hate it because of all the stuff you go to. But you know, it's so rewarding. You know, I had patients really thank me, like genuinely deep down saying, you know what, Andrew, thank you for taking care of me today. You're such a great nurse. You gave me the information I needed, and you know, I'm going home now and I feel more confident in my care, of my own self-care when I go home. And I felt that's what's really rewarding with nursing.
How does that make you feel every day when you have a hard ass patient and a irritating family?
So stressed out, you know, stresses me out. Like, I think one thing that really burns patients out is really dealing with the family members. You know, dealing with family, talking to them all the time, updating them when really, you know, they're trying to focus on their patient. But the stressful days that I had, good and bad, you know, the bad days, I would go home just stressed out. I'd go home like really tired. And I'm not going to lie, I went home one day crying.
Wow.
I cried. I did. I'm sorry. I know I'm a man. You know, me a man
It's
don't
okay.
cry,
Men
but, you
cry.
know what I'm saying?
You
But
got
I'm just
to,
like,
man.
I cry.
I was just like,
where change happens.
oh my God. Like, you know, I questioned myself, like, dang, is nursing for me? I cried. I talked to my mom, shout out to my mom for just telling me, you know what? It's going to take time. You're going to get better at it.
Yes.
You're going to get good with your time management. And I feel like, you know, time management, you know, it's a whole topic in itself, but time management is a big thing for nurses. Even with veteran nurses, time management with everything throughout the day is still a hard thing. And I feel like I'm just getting the gist of what's going on. So, yeah.
Wow. Sounds a lot. Heavy load, huh?
It's a heavy load.
But it's like it's like when you're driving, you know, when you're driving, driving like 10 and 2, right? And you're very stressed. But then like after like 6 months, you're like, lean back, you know.
I'm eating when I'm driving now. I have a taco in my hand. I'm doing along like this. Like, what's up?
So, I mean, what I've heard, a lot of nurses, you know, nurses go in because of the money, because of the moolah. I don't think that's a good way to. I mean, what do you think, AJ? You think that's AJ? What do you think?
No, I don't think that's a very good mindset to go to money, to go into nursing for the money, because honestly, you shouldn't go into nursing for the money because nurses don't make that much money to do that, but they make good enough, okay money to make a comfortable living and to support themselves. I think being an RN and getting my first paycheck, I'm like, wow, this is great. But looking at it, I'm like, I worked really hard for this. And I felt it was an acceptable amount, acceptable for working as an RN. And I think from there on, you could be like, okay, you could use that to just, you know, fuel other things that you want to do. Save for your retirement, save for that new car if you want, save for something that you've been wanting to earn because you've been past nursing school. You know, so for me, I'm saving for, you know, retirement. I'm saving for maybe to move out one day from my parents' house, maybe buy a new car one day, and, you know, fueling, you know, this business with my dad, because now there's an extra income in the family now, you know, so.
How about in terms of your, so you have your BSN, correct?
Yes.
So what are your future plans? A master's, an MBA maybe? I mean, what do you?
So future plans right now, you know, I just want to see where I am in my first year of schooling, but I do want to go back for my master's and, you know, do education.
Awesome.
I want to teach.
Cool. Yeah, always get the education. Huh?
Yeah,
if you
of
could
course.
do it, and if you still have energy, always do it when you're young, because it's harder when you're older to get education.
Right. Right.
Now let's real quick IG and Facebook and their social media. AJtheRN. What are the plans? What are your objectives? What do you plan to do?
Okay, so right now, Instagram page, AJtheRN. So it's like that on the board, but it's AJtheRN all close together, no spaces. Right now with that page, I want to just put in my input of just influencing my new grads and my 2B nurses that are going to graduate from school soon.
Okay.
And to just help them and give them tips of how to really approach their nursing career being new. Since I'm new and having a little experience already, I just want to give them maybe more of a base of how they can approach their practice as a new nurse or just getting there in nursing school.
So is your target market like the nursing student who just entered the program, or are you targeting students taking prereqs to go into nursing program, or is it all of it?
It's all of it. It's all of it. Because
okay.
It's not much of a serious page because I also want to put some humor in there.
Sure.
I want to do some food stuff in there. I want to add on these podcasts into there and just build it from there. So that's the basis right now. So it's, you know, it's still in the beginning stages, and I got to just put some time. You know, I'm also doing a YouTube page, putting these podcasts in there too, doing things like that. So it's just right now, it's just going to manifest the growth.
So you said food, right?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Joe. Well, I know you're a foodie.
Oh yeah,
I'm a foodie. So how are we relating?
What are you gonna bring?
Yeah, how are we relating food and nurses?
Okay,
how do we relate that food and nurses? Nurses like to what?
They love to eat, and they love to spend money to eat because they can do it now
because they have no time.
They have no time, right?
Right.
I'm not gonna lie, I have no time to bring my own food from home. I just buy from the cafeteria.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's what we do. We only have 30 minutes to eat, and now that I see the 30 minutes, it's not 30 minutes. It feels like 5 minutes.
Right. All right.
Because you got to go down the calf.
Yeah.
That takes about 5-10 minutes of your time already, right? If you get stopped from out of nowhere, have to talk to someone, then you got to get your food. You got to wait in line. But by the time you get back to the unit to go eat, you only have like 10, 15 minutes left.
That's why people bring their food.
Yeah, tell me a little about the food they serve in the cafeteria.
You know what? So my hospital, shout out to KH again, they have actually pretty dang good food for a hospital food. I would have to admit that. Yeah, I actually look at the menu every day to see what they have, and they have specific things that I like eating there. So, I mean, it's pretty good.
Pretty good. Okay. I'd like to hear some stories about or recipes that nurses can use instead of eating at the cafeteria.
Right.
Oh, man,
that'd be a lot more convenient for them, a lot more healthier choices. I was at a hospital one time in Minnesota, and oh my goodness, in the cafeteria, it was all fried food. Yeah, there was fried chicken, French fries, onion rings. I'm like,
good, though.
and my dad was in there for heart surgery.
Yeah, right.
I'm like,
Isn't that so ironic? It's like
exactly.
Yeah, they should.
These people just keep the customers coming.
Right.
So so that's why I asked the question. And
I think because when you feel tired and you feel stressed out, you want good food. You don't think about the healthy. You want something in your mouth that tastes so good that wow, that was really good.
It's a stress reliever too. When you have good food, you're like, oh my god, it's so good. Like I know I'm having a bad day right now, but damn, this food is fucking great.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have future, podcasts. Real quick before we end, though, can you give us maybe some top 3 pointers on how to de-stress?
So 3 tips. So my top 3 I recommend is 1, I feel like exercise plays a big role for me. Exercising and actually working out, because what tends to happen when you're working out, you're sweating, you're working hard and all that stuff, you're releasing all those good hormones in your body while you're working
endorphins,
out.
Endorphins.
You get that endorphin rush and you feel good, right? And my thing is with that is when you feel good, you look good.
That's right.
Right? When you feel good, you look good. You get that new haircut, you get your hair did, nails done, you got good clothes on, right? Especially when you fit and you work out, you can put everything on, look good. I feel like exercising is one of the best things for stress reliever. Another thing, secondly, is music. Music is such a big thing with me. Listening to good music. Yeah. I find that listening to whatever you like listening to, rap, hip hop, house music. I'm really big into the EDM house music era right now. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Yeah.
DJ Heather.
But like artists like Chris Lake, Anna Leno, you guys should check them out. House music like that is something that helps de-stress me. It just makes me feel good. You know, it hypes me up for the next whatever I'm gonna go through. And I actually find myself now. I kind of did a little test with myself. When I would go to work in the morning, I would listen to the radio, and I would get to work not really like whatever. And then I found out that if I listen to my upbeat music going to work and I have my coffee and my caffeine, I'm like, okay, let's get this day started. You know, I'm confident now. Let's go. Let's get into this, right? I'm all dancing in my car, like people looking at me in the car driving, like, thanks, early in the morning. What's this guy doing? He's freaking just like dancing in his car. It's like, what is he doing in there? So yeah, like that. So
awesome.
Definitely music. And the third, I just feel like a hobby that you like doing. My hobby, I'm a big gamer. I will be a big gamer for the rest of my life. I love playing video games. I love sitting down, just playing after work. And just, you know, being in my own world, because, you know, there's a lot of subcultures out there. You know, there's nursing the subculture, you know, business subculture, and then there's a gaming community that's my big subculture. I've been in it since 2009 competitively. Wow. And that's my hobby that I feel.
What game?
So fighting games. I'm a big competitive
Street
fighting
Fighter.
Yeah, so Street Fighter, Guilty Gear,
Capcom,
all that stuff. Yeah, they do.
Yeah. What's a big one out right now?
Right now, well, there's like a couple.
Street
Fighter,
bro.
is still the big thing.
Street Fighter.
Tekken,
down.
Guilty
Really?
Gear. There's a lot of anime fighting games. There's a lot of fighting games out there, but I stick with them.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 2. I'm not really into that one. That one's actually hard for me to play. But top three. So exercise, music, and a hobby that you love. I feel like those are the best three stress relievers after a hard day of work, after a hard day of school, if you're stressed out, after clinical. If you have the time, do it. Because when you're stressed out, you can't really behave in the way that you want to throughout the day. You know, maybe there are some little things that bother you because you're stressed out. You get angry a little bit faster. You get mad at the little things. But if you could take the time to just go do it, even if you don't want to. It's the days that you don't want to do it that count the most. Just go do it. Go get that exercise in. Go take a walk and listen to your music. Go start something in your hobby, like something that you've been wanting to do. Like spend an hour of your day doing it. And then after that, you might feel good because you got something done. You got that task done, right? You felt like you got something finished. And that's big with me with the discipline. I got something done that day. I felt productive. Be productive.
I feel energized now just by hearing that, man. Like, man, AJtheRN.
What's up?
Get some EDM music.
I know, I'm about to do that right now. yeah. So,
thank you, AJtheRN, for spending some time with us here at A&P Spot Talk, and we will have for sure more podcasts on nursing as you go into your career. So, for myself,
more updates to come, guys.
For myself, I'm very proud of you, son.
Thank you.
I'm glad that you are informing to the man that I visioned. And I know there's a lot of room for improvement, but our main goal here is to share the wealth. If we could help others, more power to us. Yes. All right, well, listeners, thank you again. A&P Spot Talk, where you're on the spot. Take care, guys, and God bless.